Punctuated by bold yet soothingly cheerful colors, the special exhibit is now showcasing the work of our next guests. Let's welcome Laura Dargan and Kate Hooray Osmond, whose work is currently being featured at the Miller Gallery. We're very grateful to have you here, and just so grateful for the art that you bring into the world, which I just love the pieces that you've created. And I love how you got there. You actually traveled to Mexico in order to create these pieces. Why did you have to leave the confines of South Carolina to do so?
Well, I think it was just a really good opportunity to try something new, and I had never done that before. Kate is an experienced residency goer, but it was my first time, and I really wanted to try it, and it was an experience. I mean, it was so different, and being outside of the country, I think, gave it that like really, really different feel to it, instead of maybe going somewhere in the States.
That is true. Kate, where did you go?
We went to a little town called Jilotepec, which means place of the corn, and it is about an hour and a half northwest of Mexico City, out in the high desert. And it is completely beautiful and amazing. It felt almost like what I would imagine Tuscany to be like.
Oh, really?
Gold and umbers, and it was an immersive experience that I would recommend.
And it comes out in both of your works, so you can feel the kind of the warmth, but the colors certainly have a great impact. So would you say for you that it was certainly impactful and it sort of led you to use that particular palette?
Oh yeah, definitely. Most of my work is mostly abstract, but a lot of the inspiration comes from my surroundings here. But there it's just so different, and it was still really green and lush, and the trees were different, and the foliage was, everything was different. Yeah. So it was definitely inspiring my work, and I was able to kind of create a little bit of my surroundings in the work that was much different than anything that I'd ever done.
Interesting. All right, so you're an abstract artist.
Yes.
Would you also say that you are an abstract artist?
I think so. My pieces are a little bit more recognizable for their interior spaces and figurals.
And the name of the exhibit is called Dos Miradas.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means two views, because we both went to the exact same place, and we're both from Charleston, but the way that we responded to the landscape and the culture and the sounds was so different, where I believe that Laura's work creates a lot of questions with her intuitive painting. Mine is always searching for definitions in the work. And so we had studios that were just across a pond from each other, and other artists from all over the world. And so we would just walk through each other's studio spaces, and oh my gosh, I'm so surprised that, last night when we went to this music festival, that is now appearing in your work in a way that I never considered. So it was very inspirational.
That's so interesting. So this was a 3-week stay, is that right? So I didn't realize that there were other artists there as well. How much inspiration do you get from one another and being able to walk through each other's spaces? Are there ever artists that say, I don't want anyone to come see my work yet? Or is it a pretty open communal space where it's a welcome thing to sort of share? And
well, I think this particular residency, everybody, the way that the studios were set up, it was meant for people to walk through. Maybe there are other residencies where people are a little more closed off, but it was very interesting to see how different people from different countries put together their work, and just the materials they used, and their subject matter, and all of that was so different. So it was really interesting to see that, because we're not coming across people from Poland on the day-to-day here in Charleston, so or anywhere else. So I thought that was
so the
really
world converged
in
this one place.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. And what is your medium?
So I'm large-scale abstract, acrylic paint, and figurative work. So
and how about for you, Kate?
Painter and installation.
And installation. What does that mean, installation?
Installation, so if you imagine in the world of aesthetics, you have paintings that go on the wall, or you have theater, which is people moving through space. And so it more closely aligns to theater. You can create a space in a room that a viewer walks through, and they don't have to perform in any particular way, but it is immersive, and so it does affect them, much like anybody going anywhere in the world even down the street, you're going to be affected by a space.
Yeah, the world is a theater, as they say. Well, I think Shakespeare said it, right? The whole world is a stage. But, and with these pieces, so folks can come, take a look at them, ponder over them. Are they also for sale?
Yes.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so this is at the Miller Gallery, and this is going to be through the end of the month. I highly recommend you do it because really just looking, it's very soothing. As I said in the get-go, when you look at these images, it has a very soothing calming. Is that what was going through you when you were placing brush to canvas?
I think so. For me, the process of being in a studio and not having the day-to-day interruptions at the home studio and having to worry about everyday life, it really allowed me to sink into the work, and I feel like it was a very calming experience in the studio. So yeah, I think it does kind of show through. I don't know if you feel the same, but that's kind of how, you know, I was feeling when I was working every day.
I'll give you that opportunity.
I wouldn't say soothing. I would say just, I don't speak Spanish fluently, and neither did most of the people we were there with, but it was just such a welcoming experience. But it was life. There was sounds and smells and everything that was so unfamiliar that I wasn't soothed, but I was definitely enlivened. And so I found that my works actually included many more colors than I usually use, which surprised me.
Very interesting. Wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
with us.
Yeah,
Can't
thanks
wait
for
to
having
come
us.
and see them myself. We're back after this.